Hey, thanks for joining me. Today is day 3 of 5 days of Easter crafting. We're going to paint stuff. So go look for some tin cans, bottles, anything from around the house. Today we're going to be doing Easter containers. So you can't rush out to the store and buy the kids a bunch of Easter baskets. So let's be creative with what we already have around the house. So if you have any old tin cans, you want to go ahead and pull the labels off of them. Any glass jars, like this was an olive container, and I don't even like to take the time to completely take the label off. You don't need to with this project, okay? So the paints that I use as the base coat, you can definitely use an acrylic paint, a craft paint, but what's even better as your base coat is like house paint. This is Rust-Oleum protective enamel, oil-based, and I just love coating anything that I'm going to repaint. I want to coat it with this first, and then this right here, this is house paint that I bought 10 years ago. I painted our hallway this Tiffany blue. Yeah, really, it was that gaudy. And so this is a house paint, an interior latex that I'm going to go ahead and use today also. So I've already painted quite a few of these, and they're drying. They're drying very quickly. And even though it's uneven and looks a little bit funky, that's part of the charm of these hand-painted pots and jars. All right, so let's paint this one. Let's just get a nice coat on that of this Tiffany, or let's say robin's egg blue. Robin's egg. I didn't even switch paints because this is just a base coat. All we're trying to do is put on a base coat that's going to dry and then allow you to either decoupage or paint on top. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It is one of those projects that I love so much, and that is to just repurpose, recycle, upcycle, upgrade anything that you already have with other craft stuff you already have. Okay? We're on springtime lockdown, and we can't get over to Michael's, Joann's, whatever. Even my husband needed to go to Home Depot, and there was a line out the door, and he didn't have the patience to wait. So, this is a real crisis, but on the other hand, let's just all try to stay safe and healthy. And when we get through it, the cool thing is that it allows everybody an opportunity to think long and hard about what they want. All right, so that turned out nicely. As I began painting these, I had them sitting here on my table together and was amazed at how pretty they looked together. So we did already start to paint some of these. We're going to turn them into little mini Easter baskets, so I've still got to put a handle on them. But I went in behind the base coat and dropped in a little bit of color while the base coat was still wet. This would be cute for a little boy. Now we're going to paint this, and I'm going to show you how to do a homemade stencil with shapes you cut out with your die cutters. I'd wanted to put a scalloped edge on this little jar, but I didn't have a stencil. So let me show you how I made this. First, get one of your die cut, okay, and with cardstock, cut out quite a few shapes. And you can do this with all kinds of different shapes. What I'm trying to do right now is get a scallop shape. So we'll still use this piece right here. All right, I'm also using my Lazy Susan. That's kind of a neat thing. Okay, so I want to just go about halfway. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm lining them up in a row, and I'm using the straight edge of that folded paper right there. Now I'm gonna flip it around. I want to make sure you see it. With a piece of painter's tape, go ahead and tear off a size that's going to run the length of the little round discs. Line them up together, and then with the tape, go ahead and just use the edge of the cardstock that's folded and drop it down, and you've got something that can be used as a stencil. Okay? I want to stencil the scalloped edge right here on this. So just line it up. One way to know how close you are to being even is by checking at the very bottom. See if it's about equal, sticking out. All right, so that's good for part of it. I think we're going to be able to get a pretty good area there to stencil. And it's all pretty even. You can eye it. It looks pretty even. All right, now what paint color? I do really like that house paint. I don't think I want to go with a bright white. So let's do it. For this project, I'm definitely using a stenciling brush. All right, let's see how this goes. I want to go just straight up to the edge, and this is definitely not wide enough for me, but I think I'm going to mix it with some white craft paint, and it'll be perfect. So this is super easy. You just keep rolling it on your surface. all the way around. Now I want to get a little bit of white. I'm not a fancy crafter. I just use whatever I have around the house, and I reuse my plates over and over again. I think they're really pretty to use, you know, an old glass paint plate. All right, I think it's time to see how it goes, the reveal. All right, so it's not as easy as I thought it would be, but it still turned out very nicely. I think we can go in and clean this up real quick. That is a really pretty look. All right, I'm going to let this dry before we attempt to do the other side. But it's pretty cool. Kind of looks fancy. I do like to clean these up a little bit before you use them another time, because you'll set them somewhere, and you always know wherever you set them, they land on something that you freshly painted, and your project gets all messy again. All right. Okay, so we painted a couple of these, and now we're going to get ready to decorate them. I already finished this one. I was going to put a bow on it, but it feels finished to me right now. So I went ahead and put a wire handle on it. I also cut out with a hole punch a little bit of foil. But I felt like this turned out so cute. And then I just glued these on with tacky glue. All right, so that's one little container. Then there's these. Let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to go ahead and get this wire put on. Now this is soldering wire. So just go ahead and measure it. And then I already got my hot. All right, with your soldering wire, what I did do on this is I hot glued the soldering wire onto each side of the tin can, and I stabilized it then. I went ahead and on top of it, I hot glued a very clear ribbon, and so I stabilized it a secondary time. But this feels pretty solid, so it's on there, it's not coming off. Having fun crafting here today. All right, on that mint green vase, I decided to print out some clip art that I'm going to go ahead and decoupage onto the front of it. All right, so this is a barbecue sauce jar, and I actually really like it. They have the brand right there. It doesn't mean anything to anybody, but I still like the look of it. And I think that's going to be kind of neat. So definitely go in that route. All right, so I'm going to decoupage now. love how they turned out. So I'm ready to show them off. Wait for it. What a fun project, and they're cute, right? I think they're cute. I just set them up on the fireplace mantle, and our whole place looks very Eastery now. Hey, it's Easter week. Are you going to do your Easter eggs this year? You want to learn how to do these? If you watch my awesome video, you'll learn how to do eggs just like these pretty little things. Day 3 of 5 days of Easter crafting has just concluded. Thanks for watching. Gigi wanted me to tell you if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe.